There are words in the Qur'an that do not just comfort the heart, they awaken something deep inside the body. Words that, when recited with sincerity and discipline, have been a source of healing for people who had lost all hope. Not magic, not superstition, but faith, focus, and complete trust in God. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is not common knowledge. By God's permission, healing does not always begin in hospitals. Sometimes it begins in silence. At dawn, before the world wakes up, before food touches your body, before distractions enter your mind. There is a reason the Qur'an places so much emphasis on timing, intention, and presence of the heart. When the stomach is empty, the body is still. When the body is still, the heart listens. And when the heart listens, the soul responds. Many people rush through the Qur'an. They read without reflection. They recite without stillness. And then they wonder why they feel unchanged. But the Qur'an was never meant to be rushed. It was meant to be received. Early scholars spoke about approaching the Qur'an in a state of humility, a quiet body, a focused mind, and a heart that is fully present. When a person recites a surah on an empty stomach, early in the morning, they are not just reading words. They are aligning their body and soul to receive divine mercy. This is not about instant miracles. It is about consistency. It is about sincerity. And it is about trusting that God heals in ways we cannot always see immediately. The Qur'an itself tells us that it is a source of healing and mercy for the believers. Not only emotional healing, not only spiritual healing, but a deep, unseen healing that reaches places medicine sometimes cannot. And here is what most people missed. Healing does not always mean the disease disappears overnight. Sometimes healing means strength during illness. Sometimes it means clarity. Sometimes it means peace where fear once lived. And sometimes, by God's permission, it means relief that no one can explain. In this video, we are not chasing sensational claims. We are returning to a forgotten discipline, a practice rooted in focus, faith, and reverence for the Qur'an. Stay with me, because in the next section, we will talk about why the morning matters, why emptiness matters, and how intention changes everything. Most people don't struggle because they don't believe. They struggle because their hearts are exhausted. You can pray and still feel heavy. You can make dua and still feel stuck. You can read Qur'an and still feel like nothing is changing. And that confusion can quietly turn into something dangerous. Why am I not getting better? Why do I still feel anxious? Why does my chest feel tight even after I worship? Is something wrong with me? Here is the hard truth. Many of us treat the Qur'an like a task, not a meeting with God. We read when we're already distracted. We recite when our minds are running in 10 directions. We scroll, we snack, we rush, and then we expect our hearts to suddenly soften. But the heart doesn't open to noise. The heart opens to presence. And that's why so many people keep missing the healing they are begging for. Not because the Qur'an is weak, never, but because we approach it with a weak state, a distracted mind, a rushed tongue, a heart that is not fully present, a life full of sins we don't want to admit, and a relationship with God that we only remember in pain. And then there is another problem, one that people don't like to talk about. Some Muslims start treating the Qur'an like a quick fix. They want one surah, one day, one try, then instant results. But healing doesn't work like that. Even medicine requires a process. So why would the soul be any different? The Qur'an is not a magic trick. It is guidance. It is mercy. It is healing, by God's permission, for those who come with sincerity, patience, and discipline. So the real problem is not the surah. The real problem is how we approach it. We want healing, but we don't want to change habits. We want relief, but we don't want to clean the heart. We want comfort, but we still keep doors open to what harms us. And here is the question you need to ask yourself honestly. Are you coming to the Qur'an for a real transformation, or just for a temporary escape? Because when the Qur'an becomes a habit of the morning, with a quiet body and a sincere heart, that's when people begin to see changes they cannot explain. Let me paint a scene. It's early morning. The sky is still dim. The world feels quiet, like it's holding its breath. You're awake, maybe not because you feel strong, but because you feel desperate. Your body is tired. Your heart is tired. And there is a pain inside you that no one fully understands. So you sit. You take a breath. And you start reciting the words of God, not fast, not for show, not to impress anyone, just you and your Lord. And in that moment, something happens. Maybe the symptoms don't disappear instantly, but the heart becomes lighter, the fear becomes quieter, the chest loosens a little. The tears come without forcing them, and you realize sometimes healing starts as peace before it becomes relief. Allah tells us clearly, only being and we send down of the Qur'an that which is healing and mercy for the believers. That is not a small statement. That is a promise, healing and mercy. And the Prophet also taught us that the Qur'an is a cure for what we carry inside, and a protection from what tries to destroy us. Now listen to this real story. A sister once said she went through months of pain and stress. Doctors gave medicine, tests, advice, some helped, some didn't. But what shocked her wasn't a sudden miracle. It was that her anxiety began to fade when she committed to the Qur'an every morning. Same time, same calm, empty stomach, no phone. No distractions, she said. I didn't feel healed overnight, but I felt like I could breathe again. And after a while, I noticed my body wasn't reacting the same way anymore. My fear was not controlling me. My heart was not drowning. That is what the Qur'an does. It doesn't just change your situation. It changes you, and then your situation begins to change with you. And in the next section, I will show you the right way to do it, the intention, the steps, and the dua that keeps your heart steady. Let's make this real and doable. Not complicated, not dramatic, just consistent. Because if you're going to recite Qur'an for healing, don't do it like a rushed routine. Do it like you're walking into a meeting with the one who can change everything. Here's a simple step-by-step way. Step 1: start with a clean intention. Before you recite, whisper it to Allah. Ya Allah, I'm not reciting to test you. I'm reciting because I trust you. Heal me in the way you know is best. Step 2: choose a quiet moment. Early morning has a special stillness. Your mind is not yet crowded. Your heart is softer. Your distractions are fewer. Put your phone away, even if it's for 10 minutes, because you can't ask Allah for healing while you're still holding on to noise. Step 3: recite slowly, not perfectly. Don't rush to finish. You're not trying to complete pages. You're trying to let the words touch you. Read like you mean it, even if you stumble, even if your voice shakes. Step 4: pause and breathe between verses. After a verse that hits your heart, stop. Let it sink in. Let the Qur'an talk to your pain. Step 5: I blow gently into your hands and make dua. After reciting, you can gently blow into your hands and wipe over your body. This is a known practice in Ruqya. Then ask Allah with humility. Here are powerful du'as to include. Into to the Hatsu Domum to into the Mimiento Budogodian Pom Bien Bien Tomi Man Togomian Tobian Yodoanso Iman Bidan. Dibing Ban at Empire, T being one to Lord the Being delimit home the Tolo, no in me union bini your Peter your yoni the home. Don't do P beam poto deeper do not and peace. And this one when fear is heavy, Billy Avri, be by Tom Fimiman Dodom, Mom. Step 6. Stay consistent for a set period. Don't do it once and quit. Try 7 days or 14 days. Healing loves consistency. And remember, sometimes Allah heals by removing the illness, and sometimes He heals by strengthening your heart until the illness no longer controls you. Now listen carefully. Because this part can protect you from a big spiritual mistake. When we talk about reciting a surah and being cured, some people get pulled into extreme claims and false promises, and they end up hurt, disappointed, or even blaming Allah. So here is the warning. 1. Don't turn the Qur'an into a magic spell. The Qur'an is not a shortcut for lazy hearts. If someone says, read this once and you'll be cured 100%, be careful. Because Allah is not forced by our timelines, and healing is not a bargain we demand. You recite with hope, yes. You trust Allah, yes. But you never speak in a way that sounds like you control the outcome. That's not faith, that's entitlement. 2. Don't abandon medical help. Islam is not either Qur'an or medicine. Islam is use the means, then trust the creator of the means. Take treatment, get checked, be responsible, and still recite Qur'an, because Qur'an heals what medicine can't touch: fear, despair, spiritual darkness, and the weakness of the heart. Don't keep sins and expect peace. This one is painful but real. Some people want healing while they still live in what destroys them: constant haram entertainment, backbiting and toxic tongues, addictions hidden in secret. Teach ye without apology. How can the heart become clean if we keep pouring dirt into it? You want Qur'an to heal you. Then stop feeding the thing that's making you sick. 4. Don't lose hope if healing looks different. Sometimes Allah heals you by removing the disease, reducing it, teaching you patience, elevating you, forgiving you, changing your heart so your pain becomes lighter. And on the day of judgment, you may realize the test that hurt you was the very thing that saved you. So be careful with big statements. Be careful with promises. And be careful with your tongue when you speak about Allah. Say this instead: by Allah's permission, healing can come. And that sentence keeps your faith safe, because Allah is the healer, always. Before we end, I want you to take a deep breath, because maybe you've been carrying pain for so long, it started to feel normal. Maybe you've been smiling in public, but inside you're tired, scared, drained. And you know what makes it harder? When people around you don't understand, when they say, just be strong, as if strength is a switch you can flip. But oh my God sees what nobody sees. He sees the nights you couldn't sleep. He sees the silent tears. He sees the fear you hide. He sees the prayer you whispered when you thought no one was listening. So here's what I want you to do today. Just one small thing. Pick one chapter of the Qur'an you can recite consistently. Not because it's magic, not because you're trying to force a result, but because you want to hold on to, oh my God, and let His words hold you back. And when you recite, don't rush. Don't treat it like a task. Treat it like a conversation, like you're sitting quietly, admitting from the heart, I don't have the power to heal myself, but I trust the one who does. Then recite the supplication with your whole heart. And if your heart feels heavy, recite it. And if you're scared about the future, recite Now I want to ask you something heart to heart. Don't watch this video and walk away unchanged. Make a decision tonight, even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's 1 page, even if it's one short chapter. Start. Because consistency is loved by oh my God, even when it's small. And if this message touched you, do 2 things. Comment, I'm starting today, so we can support each other. Share this video with someone who is silently struggling, someone who needs hope, someone who needs healing. May, oh my God, bring healing to your body, calm to your mind, and light back into your heart. Ameen.